www.wvdrc.org to learn more.
When your heating or cooling system is giving you trouble, call the diagnostic doctor from Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning.
Here's the culprit right here.
All joking aside, when you call Dick's, you're calling 35 years of experience at customer service right here in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's strongly believes in repairing before replacing, and they service all major brands of HVAC units. Remotion e-bikes is rolling out its new line of Aventon e-bikes. Come in today and save $300 on the top-selling Aventon Adventure. Remotion is Central Washington's home for affordable e-bikes, located in the Mills Brothers building in downtown Wenatchee.
It has really been a great partnership between Succession and NCW Life. It's not always easy to sit in front of a camera or a microphone, but you guys have made it a really nice process.
Hey, it's good to see you, folks. We're back. We have gathered in front of the warmth of our television monitors. On the 12th day of July, 2023, we use the Gregorian calendar here, and that means it's Wednesday. Yes, the award-winning theme to Winning Wednesday, as performed by Taylor Swift. Cost us a lot of money. Winning Wednesday is back, and we're back down to the Pybus Public Market where communities meet. And today you're going to meet Aubrey, the owner and operator of Little Red's Espresso and Bakery. That's that cool little trailer out there where you can get your Java fix, get yourself a little breakfast burrito or a cookie or whatever. Had a chance to sit down with Aubrey, or actually stand up with Aubrey, a couple of days ago. You're going to meet her, and we're going to give away a $50 gift card to Little Red's at the Pybus Public Market. 50 bucks, a lot of coffee. Send in your emails. That's how you have to enter the contest. It's the only way to do it is send me an email, but everybody has an email address. Winner at ncwlife.com. Winner at ncwlife.com is how you do it. There are a couple of things you need to remember. Number one, of course, you can't enter 100 times over and over again on the same email address. We keep track of these things. If you have more than one email address, you can enter more than once, but it's one entry per email address. Rule number one. And rule number two, employees of Solion Broadcasting, Local Communications, and their immediate families are not eligible. Sorry, Tucker. And rule number three, if you do not enter the contest, you can't win. So if you don't enter, you're absolutely out of the drawing. $50 gift card from Aubrey and the cool folks at Little Red's. Thank you very much for giving this away. Well, I'm giving it away, but get your entry in. I'll give you a couple more reminders before this program is over. Very pleasant, soft summer morning, 64 degrees, a few high clouds. Going to be a little windy this afternoon, and for you folks in the northern part of our viewing area, once again, the Okanagan area, Omak, Okanagan, Riverside, and in the Methow Valley, thunderstorm is a possibility. Gradual warming trend, topping off with triple digits on Saturday and Sunday, then a little bit of a cool down next week, but it's all relative. Details are coming up. We have some news to touch on as well. In sports, very entertaining All-Star game last night in Seattle. I watched the whole thing. In fact, I stayed up way too late. Tad punky this morning. Apple Sox win. We like that. And that's really good. Speaking of the Apple Sox, we had a chance, as we always do in the summertime. We do it once a week when our schedules line up. I visit with Storm and Joel Norman, the broadcasting voice of the Wenatchee Apple Sox. And he brought along a guest. Local boy makes good, Quincy Vassar, the big left-handed pitcher for the Apple Sox, who got the victory last night. Quincy and Joel visited us right before they hopped on the bus and headed up to Nanaimo. We'll have that interview for you in the back half of the program, and we begin our tour with our cameras around the valley, as we always do with our Wenatchee Heights camera. Begins the festivities. Few higher clouds out there than we had yesterday. There is a very weak cold front that's passing through. It's going to kind of shoot through the Cascade Gaps and up around the Okanagan Valley about 4, 5, 6 o'clock this afternoon. It's going to get kind of windy So just a heads up on that. Kind of halfway between breezy and windy, but in some locations it could be downright gusty at times today. Just a heads up on that. But this is a weak cold front going to come in. It's going to go out. We're still going to be warm. We hit 86 yesterday. We'll be about that today, and then we really start warming up on Thursday and Friday, and it's going to be a hot weekend. Camera 2, it's to downtown Wenatchee we go, to the roof of the Cascadian, looking to the north, and we shall do so. There is Bob's, there's the Coast Hotel, and Wenatchee Avenue on a very light traffic so far. It's summertime, people taking time off, vacation, no school, not a lot of traffic to speak of. Of course, it's also pretty early in the morning too. Great view from our monitor camera. We have it panned way out. Look at that. Usually we have that tilted in a little bit more or zoomed in a little bit more, but no, there's a big panoramic view of monitor. Too early for the pluots. I'm thinking, I'm a pluot fanatic, you know that. To me, I like pluots the way Cal Fitzsimmons loves pears, but it's no, well, I don't think we're quite in the pluot season yet. That's more of a mid-August kind of fruit, but I gobble those things down like popcorn. And let's head up to Cole's Corner and our friends in Lake Wenatchee. They don't have as much cloud cover up there. Good morning to the Lake Wenatchee area from our Cole's Corner camera, named after the legendary composer Cole's Corner. Nice views there. I like that. Some slides to show for you. I mentioned it's going to be a little gusty tonight with this weak cold front passage coming through. Most of the winds will be relegated to the Okanagan Valley, the Waterville Plateau, and the western third of the Columbia Basin. Any existing fires, and by the way, most of the Baird Springs fire is pretty much under control. They've gotten a lot of work done on that. We'd like to tell you that that's always good news. There is a reduced speed, however, on Highway 28 in the general area of the fire. You can get through. The highway's open, but you can't go 60 miles an hour. Just wanted to let you know about that. So choppy waters. It's going to be windy tonight. It's also going to be windy in the Wenatchee Valley, but most of the wind will be to the north of us and on the Waterville Plateau. And again, thunderstorms up near the Canadian border. Not out of the question. This is your percentage, the probability of getting some thunderstorms, and it would be late in the afternoon during the hottest part of the day. Again, to the north of us, Omak, Okanagan, and in the Methow Valley, you have a better chance of thunderstorms. It's that time of the year, so, and strong winds too. So things are going to be a little crazy up north. Down here, not so bad. From the National Weather Service, quite a bit of sunshine, not a lot of wind today. Most of the wind will be right around sunset tonight, right around 8:45 or so is when the wind will be at its peak here in the valley. After a high of 86 yesterday, 88. Our forecast high today, 61 for the overnight low with some wind. Wind dies down on Thursday, not a lot to talk about, but we bump up another degree, and then we start really climbing that ladder to 93 on Friday with lots of sunshine. Triple digits, a distinct possibility Saturday and Sunday. I've mentioned this already. We have not hit 100 yet this year. And then another cold front comes in Monday and Tuesday. It's going to cool us down a little bit, but not a lot of wind. A cold front this time of the year usually means wind, but no, it's just going to cool us down to more comfortable temperatures on Monday and Tuesday. At your forecast, 7 minutes after the hour. What happened yesterday? We'll let you know in 2 minutes. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
Hit the open roads this summer with Click It RV Superstore in Moses Lake during the Great American Sales Event. The best brands, Grand Design, Flagstaff, Thor, SMC trailers, and more. Over 1,000 RVs. Payments as low as $240 per month. $240 down. 0 payments until 2024. Up to $4,000 over JD Power for your trade-in. Plus, get a Traeger grill and Yeti cooler with purchase during the Great American Sales Event. Now at the Click It RV Superstore in Moses Lake, off I-90 on North Frontage. Hurry in today.
I chose a career at Confluence South because I wanted to help people, and I knew there would be opportunities for growth. I started as a medical assistant, but quickly advanced in my career. I received 5 promotions in only 7 years, 3 of those in management roles. Most organizations don't offer that type of growth. Now, as a career pathway coordinator, I let everyone know. Come join Confluence South. Come grow with us.
Lean back and enjoy the summer savings at Boswell's. Right now, get a $100 instant rebate for every $1,000 you spend on any qualifying stressless seating. The more you spend, the more you can save instantly. So furnish an entire room with the most comfortable seating in the world and watch the savings add up. Shop Boswell's, 2915 Easy Street in Wenatchee.
High clouds, 66 degrees, a little breezy late this afternoon, early evening hours. Possibility of some thunderstorms to the north of us. Gradual warming trend, very hot this weekend, and then we cool back down. Beginning next week, it's 9 minutes after the hour. The rate of crime in our area increased from 2021 to 2022. That's according to the Washington Association of Sheriffs and Police Chiefs. For every 1,000 residents, the Chelan County Sheriff's Office dealt with 15 reported crimes against persons. That's 15 crimes per 1,000. That's property crimes or society crimes. That's up from 14.7 from last year. Wenatchee Police had a rate of 71.2 crimes per 1,000 residents. East Wenatchee Police saw 51.7 criminal cases per 1,000 residents. Douglas County Sheriff's deputies, their rate was 22.7 per 1,000 compared to just over 19 1 year ago. The increases reflecting a rise in categories like simple assault, petty theft, and burglary, though there were 3 murders in Wenatchee and Chelan County last year. There were 2 murders in the year 2021. It's a 3-way mayor's race in the Bavarian village of Leavenworth. Our own Jefferson Robbins sat down with all 3 candidates, including the incumbent mayor, and asked them what would be the priority project if the voters vote them into office.
We have the 4th worst streets in the entire state of Washington. They're crumbling and falling apart, so that would definitely be a priority. We have a real problem with excessive speeding, especially in school zones. I've written 4 letters to the mayor and city council, 2 of which were signed by multiple neighbors of mine who share the same concern, and we're really not getting much help from City Hall in this regard. Now, to be fair, new Public Works Director Tom Wacholder has tried to do a few things, but it's a significant problem. And it's a school zone, and there are others throughout the city where we have this speeding problem. And I fear that someone's going to get hurt or killed. You got young kids on bikes trying to get to school, and you got people zooming 45 miles an hour in a 20-mile-an-hour zone. We also have a real issue, as I know you do down here too, with these altered, unmuffled vehicles that make the most obnoxious noise. And, you know, this is a problem that has been enabled because there hasn't really been any action to try and stop it.
The high density housing. There are some that support that, but it's a very, very small percentage. The significant majority of community members strongly oppose that. And it's been in play now for, well, it's been in the motion for about 3 years. It's been in play for a couple of years, and it's an absolute disaster of what we see. If you drive around the communities, we have very large structures going on very small lots. All of the trees are removed, and I mean every tree from the property is removed. Our small mountain community is becoming this, you know, it's on the way to this metropolis. It's not the small mountain community that we all moved there for. We need to protect that. And so a big divisive issue that's happening right now is this high density housing. And the focus on that has been so linear that it doesn't seem to matter how many community members come forward and say, you've got to stop this, please stop this. It's no longer just a request. The city has community members, the majority of them, has actually been to the point of begging to have this stopped and slowed down, and so we can figure this out and become more balanced, and it's just been ignored.
One of the big ones is the purchase of the Osborne, former, and now we're, you know, again, COVID has set back a lot of our intentions and kind of postponed some of those things, but we're right now studying the playground itself and replacing that playground and ball fields and things, and I know there's going to be some kind of smaller footprint community space there, but how that gets defined, we've recently been in conversations with the library about maybe taking some of that over there, get them out of City Hall, which we need to expand. We've got some people in City Hall that are 3 in a room, and we just, you know, we're growing in our needs, and so it might kind of be one of those places where it could be a win-win and get them out of there. You know, it's not an ideal spot for the library. It's not in the residential as much as it's close into that commercial and the parking and all that. So, you know, we're just in the opening discussion stages of that. But that would also give us a way to have some community spaces and community rooms as well.
It's almost time for those little bitty osprey chicks who will grow up to be really big birds. It's that time of the year where they leave the nest, and when they do, they might be leaving from nests on platforms built by the Chelan PUD. Osprey are protected by the Migratory Bird Treaty Act, and that prohibits anybody from moving an active nest. And when a nest is started in an unsafe location, the PUD builds a standalone platform so they have a safer place to nest. Osprey nest on tall structures, and that means they have a tendency to gravitate towards power poles. That's, of course, unsafe for not only the birds, but for us as well. The platforms stand about 65 feet tall, and in the spring there were 56 platforms built. That's a lot more than when they started, when they built 10 back in 2006. In recent years, Canadian geese who lay their eggs weeks before the osprey return for their migration have tried to overtake the platforms, but the PUD came up with a rather ingenious idea. They put covers over the osprey nests until they arrive in early April. And a friendly reminder for you folks who'd like to travel Highway 2 up to the north in the Mansfield-Jameson Lake area. There's a 24-mile stretch of that highway that you see there that is closed. It's closed from milepost 163 to milepost 187. That's the junction of State Route 172. That's near Farmer to junction State Route 17. That's west of Cooley City. Of course, they had torrential rains that washed out some of the road and undermined the infrastructure of the road. When that stretch will reopen, we do not know, so plan accordingly. And that's the news at 16 minutes after the hour. We'll have the news for you tonight at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock on TV, or as we like to say in the business, television. If that doesn't work, you can always watch it online on our Facebook page, on our YouTube page, on our homepage, and if there's something out there you think we need to know about, let us know about it. Send us an email, news@ncwlife.com. Very entertaining All-Star game last night, and the Apple Sox won too. We got lots of good sports. In 2 minutes, you're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Most of us are in touch with the internet in one way or another all day long. A fast, secure connection matters. It keeps us entertained, informed, and in touch. Localtel cares about your connection. We know strong, reliable internet with your choice of speed makes life better. If you need fast, reliable internet, or maybe an upgrade, or you just have questions, connect with us by visiting localtel.com or call 509-888-8888 today.
Few things strike fear in the human heart, like the possibility of a rattlesnake bite. Dogs can encounter rattlesnakes on their walks or in their yards, and being curious, often get bitten on their face, neck, and legs. Luckily, a vaccination is available to help neutralize venom so dogs experience less pain and swelling. Even if your dog has received a vaccine, you still need to seek immediate help. Dr. Shauna Bayes and the staff of Paws and Claws care about your pet's health. Call 888-PAWS to schedule your vaccination today.
The agents of Kennedy Real Estate Group are committed to providing the ideal client experience. We believe in the power of relationships. Why? Because we don't just work here, we live here. From the nonprofits we serve, the parks where we play, and the local businesses we support, our team understands the value of living in the Wenatchee Valley. Let's begin your real estate story.
19 minutes after the hour, last night's All-Star game lived up to its billing, came down to the final at-bat. National League wins for the first time in a long time to beat the American League. The junior circuit held a 2-1 lead on Bo Bichette's sacrifice fly into the 8th inning at T-Mobile Park, and that's when 32-year-old Elias Diaz making his All-Star debut. The catcher for the Rockies stepped up. Well, here's what happened.
2 to Diaz is hit in the air to deep left field. Back it goes. Elias Diaz puts the National League in front. At 32 years old in his All-Star debut, a go-ahead home run. Here it comes. Buffalo. Hollywood script for Julio Rodriguez. And now we got the hometown kid here with a chance to send him home happy. 3-2 comes home, and Rodriguez takes ball 4. Tying run into scoring position, winning run aboard, and Jose Ramirez coming to the plate. 2 on, 2 out, and a 2-2 pitch. Ramirez swings and misses. Kimbrel slams the door. The National League's finally back on top.
Julio finished the game 1-for-1 with that walk that you just saw. George Kirby worked the 4th inning in his All-Star debut. He gave up a run and a couple of hits. Luis Castillo did not play at all. Mariners return to action Friday with Detroit in town, 7:10 on Root Sports Northwest. 2 big innings did the number for the Apple Sox last night. They beat Nanaimo 12-8. The victory extends a streak for Wenatchee while ending a 6-game winning streak for the Night Owls. We hear from Storman Joel Norman.
The Wenatchee Apple Sox picked up a 12-8 victory against the Nanaimo Night Owls to extend their winning streak to 4 consecutive games and end the Night Owls' 6-game winning streak. The Apple Sox busted out for 7 runs in the 5th inning and never looked back from there. Trent Liolas was excellent in relief, entering midway through the game and then pitching until the end of the 8th inning, striking out 6 in his first game in West Coast League action on the mound. The Apple Sox go for their 9th series victory of the season when they take on the Night Owls again tonight at 6:35 p.m. With your Apple Sox update, I'm Joel Norman.
And we have highlights of last night's victory, courtesy of the Nanaimo broadcast. Here you go.
2-1 cracked out to right field. Drops in front of Little. And drives in another run. Bases stay loaded. Scoring now 2-1.
That single brings to the plate number 7 designated hitter Austin Oland.
3-1 hit hard and gets by Rivera on the hard hit to first. Drives in 2 more runs for the Apple Sox. And Sweeney, terrible decision over at third. Steps off third and gets tagged. 1-0, that one might drop in play and does. Good hit from Sweeney. And drives in another run for the Apple Sox. Sweeney with a double. 3-2. And cracked out to right center. Drives in 1, then 2.
Sounded to me like the announcer's dog just died. Well, they did lose anyway. By the way, Quincy Vassar worked into the 5th inning. That picks up his 2nd win of the season. And we had a chance to visit with a Brewster native before the team hit the road to Nanaimo. And Quincy told me about the importance of competing every night in the West Coast League.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed in this league is the team and the players with the most energy tend to be the most successful every single day because of how many games we play. You show up to the park flat and you're probably going to get beat. So when I take the mound, it's a little easier just to try to have an edge because you only throw around once a week. So it's just pretty important to compete every single pitch.
When you played at Brewster High, they finished 3rd and 2nd in the state, and Quincy says it's the community of Brewster that helps him prepare to play baseball.
This place is very special to me. I grew up going to these games. Probably 15 years at this park or somewhere near that. So when guys come in here from out of state, you know, I like to share with them like how special this place actually is and what this means to a lot of the local guys. I know Braden Boyd probably feels the same way. Past Chelan guys that we've had. This team and this league in general is a pretty special place to play in the summer. And especially this year with how great our team is, I'm just happy that the guys are enjoying it as much as I am.
Vassar has also helped recruit some players to come to Wenatchee to play collegiate baseball. He says it's not a hard sell.
Brewster has a special culture. It's a generational thing. A lot of people come back to the town after they graduate, after they've gone to college, and they just pour into the younger kids, and I think that's what sets that town apart and makes them so successful, is the ability for the parents to help all the kids, especially with the baseball team, the amount of volunteers that come out and help, or the amount of extra hitting they do after practices, or the field work after games. It just kind of shows they're a little different up there.
Apple Sox in Nanaimo, game 2 of the series tonight at 6:35. You can listen to it on Sunny FM. And of course, Quincy and Joel will be joining me in the back half of the program. To the scoreboard we go. From the West Coast League last night, your winners, as you see, Wenatchee knocking off Nanaimo. Victoria beat Port Angeles. Ridgefield over Bellingham in an offensive display. Tight one for Edmonton over Kamloops. Cowlitz blowing out Bend. A couple of shutouts. Corvallis and Portland did their job. And in a non-league game, Yakima Valley beat the CCL Showcase. And the standings in the north look something like this. For the second half, Wenatchee and Nanaimo tied with Victoria a half game back, and those are just some of the games that people are playing. Your obscure holiday on this day is National Different Colored Eyes Day. Today, there are 3 celebrities who have different colored eyes. It's called heterochromia. Heterochromia is when you have 2 different colored eyes, or you have eyes that have more than one color. It's rare. Less than 200,000 Americans have this condition, and it's much more common in animals, but Dan Aykroyd has heterochromia. Kate Bosworth, Joe Pesci, Kiefer Sutherland, Max Scherzer, the great pitcher, has heterochromia. Jane Seymour, different colored eyes. David Bowie had different colored eyes. If you have different colored eyes, this is your day today. You're probably not watching this show. It's 26 minutes after the hour. Today in history, in 1958, the Quarrymen, at the time, John Lennon, Paul McCartney, George Harrison, Colin Hanton, and Duff Lowe wanted to find out what they sounded like when they weren't playing. And the only way you can do that is to record yourself. And even though Liverpool is a town about the size of Spokane, in 1958, there was just one place where you could make a recording of yourself. And so they pooled their money. They paid the guy the dough. They showed up. They got a half an hour of recording time in a very rudimentary recording studio. And they recorded 2 songs, an original song called In Spite of All the Danger, and Buddy Holly's classic That'll Be the Day. Those are the 2 songs they knew the best. They recorded it. The recording engineer, Percy Phillips, took the tape, turned it into a 78 acetate. Then he erased the tape. Probably wish he hadn't done that. And the Beatles walked out with a record of themselves. The Quarrymen did. And since they split the cost 5 ways, they said, well, we'll split ownership 5 ways. So John Lennon kept it for a week, and then he gave it to Paul, who kept it for a week, and then who gave it to George, who kept it for a week. And then George gave it to Colin, who kept it for a week. Colin gave it to Duff, who kept it in a sock drawer for the next 23 years. They forgot about it. It's probably the most valuable record ever, since there's only 1 copy in existence, a 78 RPM shellac of the first recording of the group that would become the Beatles. By the way, in 1981, Duff sold it to Paul for an undisclosed amount. Paul McCartney now owns that record. 65 years ago today. 50 years ago today, at the National Personnel Records Center in St. Louis, Missouri, the entire 6th floor, the top floor, which held about 16 million official Army records, burned. When they built it in 1956, it had no sprinkler system, had no fire alarm, it had no smoke detectors or fire walls or anything like that. And when you have that much paper in one room, it will burn. The fire burned for 4 days. Cause of the fire was never determined. But about 18 million permanent Army records up in smoke on this date in St. Louis 50 years ago today. And let's talk about Disco Demolition Night. One of those baseball promotions that went badly, badly wrong as we roll footage from Chicago, Comiskey Park, doubleheader. Tigers and the White Sox. Steve Dahl, a local disc jockey, got together with Mike Veck in charge of promotions and said, here's the deal. For 98 cents, you come to the game, and between doubleheaders, we're going to blow up a bunch of disco records. 98 cents, you bring a disco record with you, and you'll get in for 98 cents. Well, about 60,000 fans showed up. Actually, about 80,000 fans showed up. About 60,000 actually got in to the Comiskey Park. There was perhaps some alcohol involved. And then between the two games of the doubleheader, they blew up all of the records. They put them all in the big bin out in center field at Comiskey Park, blew them up. There's Steve Dahl. Well, things went sideways from here. The fans simply stormed the field. They pleaded with the fans for control, and that wasn't going to happen. The rioters tore out the grass. They made off with home plate, the pitcher's mound, all of the bases. They set fires. They set off firecrackers. Did I mention alcohol may have played a factor? They even took the batting cage and tore it apart. And the second game of the doubleheader between the White Sox and the Tigers was not played because they tore the field up. Oops, didn't think that one all the way through. Disco Demolition Night on this date in 1979, and we're going way back for our birthdays. These are all heavenly birthdays, including that guy. That's Julius Caesar. He was born 100 BC, so they didn't have any pictures of him. Julius Caesar, who eventually, of course, began an entire empire, and then he got the Roman Senate all mad at him because he was a reformer to bring democracy to the masses in Italy. And he met his maker on the Ides of March. Julius Caesar, born in the state in 100 BC. George Eastman was a really smart guy. He was born in the state in 1854. When photography was able to go to the masses at the turn of the 20th century, all the camera companies were concentrating on building a better camera. George Eastman said, you can't take pictures without film. I'll go ahead and get in the film business. And of course, he made millions, and then he gave away millions. George Eastman, smart guy. Would you rather sell cars or sell gasoline? He decided to sell film and not cameras. 1854 is when he was born. And we lost Christine McVie last November at the age of 79 in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Lindsey Buckingham may have been the driving force of Fleetwood Mac, but Christine McVie was the heart and soul of that band, and we miss her. 31 minutes after the hour, Joel Norman and Quincy Vassar for the Wenatchee Apple Sox will be joining me. Had a great visit with them on Monday before they hit the road. Mike Mignotti's got an opinion. It's Winning Wednesday. It's time to meet Aubrey Dickinson and give away a $50 gift card to Little Reds. Here you go. Coffee is the elixir of life. It's not mother's milk, it's coffee. I got to have it every morning as we continue our profile of the businesses that call the Pilots Public Market home. Introduce yourself to our television family, please.
Hi, I'm Aubrey Dickinson, and I am the owner of Little Reds, not your average coffee shop.
Aubrey, were you named after the song by Bread?
Oh, yes.
Oh, really?
I really was, yes.
You know, that's a sad song.
It is, but she's weird, and I definitely take... I feel at home in that song.
We were here a couple of weeks ago. You couldn't make it. You had something come up. That's cool. We're back again. But we had a chance to talk to the two baristas who are working in there, and they love working there. Yes. What's happening? What's that all about?
Well, I hire people that I want to be my friends. So we have a really fun vibe here. Like, I'm definitely not your average boss or business owner in general. I mean, you know, I can be very sassy, but I can also try to be very fun and try to encourage people to live like in the moment, enjoy everything, and yeah.
So, and here's something else, and I can't stress this enough, folks. Their breakfast sandwiches kick butt. You gotta have, I mean, if you're gonna have coffee, you might as well eat too, right?
Yes,
Do people know about that? Do they understand how good your food is?
You know, I definitely think it's starting to be put out there. We sell burritos, our breakfast burritos. The other morning we went through like 100 tortillas. And I was like, huh, huh, huh. So yeah, we're pumping out just as much breakfast as we are coffee.
And an ordering tip, if you're gonna do breakfast and coffee, when you get here, either walk up on one side or drive in on the other. Order the breakfast first.
Yes.
It'll save you a lot of time.
Yes. Definitely.
Trust me
and
on
then
that.
you could be drinking your coffee while you wait for that said breakfast.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What's the #1 most popular drink item here? What's the one that people say, these people at the Little Red Wagon do it better than anybody?
Woo! Okay, well...
There must be something that you hang your hat on.
I do think our coffee, like our specialty flavors, our honey lavender flies off the shelf. That is something we've done since I opened in 2014 in Lake Wenatchee. And then we've been doing a lot of really fun seasonal drinks. So we have a lemon bar latte, and it is something to write home about. It is so good.
Being across the street from Works, does that kind of help a little bit there, having the folks who are across the street?
Yes, we need to get them ready to go burn it off. We got this.
What else? I mean, this is, first of all, and by the way, this is a really unique setup, the trailer.
Yeah. I'm used to small spaces, so I have another shop that's also like a tiny home, you know, so it's just, you get creative in there, and that's another reason why the girls we have such a fun vibe. We are in a very tight space, getting really like busy and chaotic all the time in there together. So we make everything in-house. In here, we're making all your food to order. We bake the cookies in this little guy.
Oh, the cookies.
Yeah.
The cookies.
The cookies.
We got a free cookie last time we were here, and because the cookie was on the edge of the pan and it was kind of deformed, and so she just gave us the cookie. And I'm going, I can pay for the cookie. She goes, no, just take it.
Yeah.
That was nice of her.
So the cookies are my favorite thing to bake. I started baking them because as a child I have quite the sweet tooth, and my mom does not have that skill of baking. So my brother and sister and I all learned how to bake from a very young age so we could fulfill that sugar need. And then I just kept going with it, and the bigger the better. So, you know, they're like this big.
Is the Wenatchee Valley a coffee town? Do we like to mow down our lattes and
I think so. I think we're doing okay.
We're doing okay
I think we're doing okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
One last question, we'll cut you loose. What's the one thing that you're really proud of that people need to know more about? We talked about the breakfast burritos, which are phenomenal. There must be some little secret thing that you're...
Something I'm really proud of is our merchandise.
Okay, please.
So I try to find local artists or do it myself and create fun, like seasonal tank tops, our hats, our mugs, and it's like kind of secretly become my favorite thing to do about work. And the quotes on the cups. Like I was just in there writing, and that's my favorite because it's taking like a little note with you. It's like a fortune cookie on your coffee cup, and hopefully it just makes you feel like having a better day, lighten the mood, maybe make you smile, maybe make you laugh, and you're getting coffee inside of it, so it's even better.
Yeah, when you come here to this location, the Little Reds, they're not going to say, "What do you want?"
No.
Why? No, you're gonna be greeted with a smiling face, a happy face. They want to take care of you. One more thing, personal testimonial. Your chai tea is really good.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank
yes,
you.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool.
I got hooked on chai tea from this place.
Yay! Good.
Yay.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. I definitely try not to cut corners. I taste everything. You know, the syrups we use are all natural. Our coffee is roasted specifically for us. We have our own label. Like, I go for quality over like the bottom. You know, like I'm not trying to trim costs here and there. Like I try to sell what I want to put into my own body.
Just out of curiosity, how much coffee do you drink a day? Because you're about ready to fly up to the moon as we talk.
Well,
you don't have to tell.
A lot. I'm trying to trim it back.
Good.
I am. But you know, just a couple Americanos here and there.
Okay.
Not a big deal. Yeah.
It's nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Thank you so much.
We'll be right back.
Hey, welcome back to Save Mart. What can we help you find today?
We're looking for a mattress.
Oh, right this way. We got a large selection. We have this pillow top here.
Oh, comfortable.
We have more to choose from down here.
Oh.
I think I have the perfect one over here for you.
I guess we'll take this one.
You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether.
We provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
This is Mike, Mad Dog McNulty, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, I've always been pretty conservative, going back to my long hair hippie days, and I guess I always will be, but for the last 2 presidential elections, I did not vote Republican, and if what's-his-face is the nominee this time around, I won't vote Republican again. Now, some of my Democrat friends will say, oh, you're finally coming around. Well, the truth is, I'm not coming anywhere. I haven't changed much at all. Quite frankly, it's the Republican Party that's changed, and they're driving me away. And the Democrats haven't been all that attractive either. And I don't think I'm the only one who thinks this way. This is Mike Mad Dog McNulty, and everybody is entitled to my opinion.
At Washington Trust Bank, can't is a 4-letter word.
I think I'll sell my veggies at the market.
Do you even remember to water the house plants? I do this?
You can do this.
Hey, we need to build a home office. We're adding another bathroom.
I think I'll study programming.
Bro, you can't even connect your phone to Bluetooth.
We believe you can do whatever you set your mind to, and we'll help you get there. Washington Trust Bank, privately owned, locally invested.
Hey, hon, would you run this around to the wash rack?
Oh, okay.
Hey, hon, what happened?
They shrunk the truck.
The all-new mid-size Canyon is now available at Sangster Motors.
Every week, almost without exception, of course, we put aside a little time to come out here to Paul Thomas Senior Stadium to talk about Apple Sox baseball. Guys are playing good ball. It's a good team. To my immediate left, local boy makes good. Quincy Vassar, big left-hander, throws strikes. And, of course, one of the great broadcasting voices in North Central Washington, who unfortunately couldn't be here. So instead we have Joel Norman of the Wenatchee Apple Sox. We love Joel.
Happy to have him.
How you doing, my friend?
I'm excited to be here. It's been fun to watch this team. Recently, happy to talk about them.
A good weekend. Of course, they're in Nanaimo tonight, the second of a 3-game set. In fact, they got 6 games in a row in Canada. Nanaimo for 3 games, and then Victoria for 3 games, 2 of the finest. You're going to have a blast up there because that's Nanaimo and Victoria. I've been to both of those towns. They're beautiful.
2 great spots, a beautiful part of the country in general. It's a fun place to spend the summer. And, you know, it's funny, Dan, it feels like just when it starts to heat up a little too much in Wenatchee, we get a chance to get away, and you get into the cool weather a little bit. And I don't know if many players across this country get the summer weather variations that the Wenatchee Apple Sox get.
Nanaimo, going into last night's game, had won 6 in a row, my friend. It's a good ball club.
Yes, it is, and they're right there in the edge of the playoff picture. Entering Tuesday night, they were sitting in 4th place, so it's a good team. And this is a team who we could potentially see in the playoffs, and I think this is a great little road test coming up. These 6 games in general, the 3 with Nanaimo, 3 with Victoria, who's a spot behind the Apple Sox right now, and this is a good little mental mid-season reset of, okay, here we go. These are the teams we're going to have to beat if we want to win it all this year.
And they've been doing it in Nanaimo with pitching. Their pitching staff has been solid. They haven't been offensively too great, but pitching, they've been shutting teams down.
It's a sneaky good team. I don't know if they're getting talked about enough. The way they've been playing well, they're doing the right things. You take care of the teams that are below you, and you sneak up and you surprise some other teams in there. And I think that's the biggest thing for us. We've got to make sure that we come out ready to go with each game and make sure that you're taking your opponents seriously. I know it's a big thing. The head coach, Mitch Darlington, has preached that anyone can beat anyone in this league. There's so much talent on each group. Regardless of the record, you have to ignore that.
Apple Sox had a great opportunity to take the first half of the West Coast League's North Division crown, punch their ticket to the playoffs, drop 2 of 3 at Port Angeles. Bellingham did just enough. Did that actually maybe lit a fire under the boys? I know they must have been just really disappointed coming back Knowing they let that challenge, that opportunity to get by them.
I think we'd be lying if we said it wasn't a hollow feeling Friday before that game, but I think the team had the right response. And I remember saying to a few people, I said, we're going to learn a lot about this ball club tonight. And we won that game against Kamloops. It was near the end of a really busy stretch of baseball. Plenty of reason to be tired, plenty of reason to be down after losing the last couple of nights, but the mental strength of this group in general this season is so impressive. This is such a strong group, and they entered Tuesday with the best record in the West Coast League, and there's a reason why. They don't lose consecutive games too often, and when they do, they have the right bounce back. And sometimes, Dan, it feels like walk-off wins in baseball come at the perfect time, right when you needed that extra little kick or that extra little moment where you can smile a little bit longer. They always seem to come when you need them the most.
Friday night's victory was a nail-biter. Saturday's victory was a nail-biter. The Sunday game delayed a little bit by lightning. Eventually they got it going. Not so much of a nail-biter. It's like, let's just take care of these guys.
Yeah, Saturday I think was the most emblematic of what this team does at its peak. On Sunday there were a few things in the field. I think they would have liked to have tidied up a little bit, but the bats came out, and we needed a game like that early, where the bats were going, a 4-run first inning, kind of just kept adding on from there. The Apple Sox are so good at drawing walks to the plate, and they did it that day, and then they hit well with men on base, which had been an issue for the previous week. So I think that was, all in all, you look at the 3 games, anytime you sweep an opponent, you're pretty satisfied, but 3 different types of victories, which I think is also really good for the team.
We're going to miss Easton, though. He's going to head home and take a little break from baseball. You got to remember, these guys are college baseball players. They play like 9 months out of the year. They're playing baseball essentially from September with a little break in the winter and then all through the spring and all through the summer. He deserves to take a little bit of break, kind of recharge the batteries. We're going to miss him offensively, but what a great year for this guy.
Absolutely. 7 home runs. I think the biggest what if is what could he have done with a full year? He was 3 off of tying the single season franchise record for home runs, but still had 7 in a month with the team, and it was just so fun to watch. He's just one of those even-keeled players who he may not have had the flashiest quote at some times or the flashiest thing he would do on the field, but my gosh, just a good kid, really great baseball player, and Liberty University is getting a really talented kid this fall.
Quincy, let's switch things to you real quick. You started last night against Nanaimo. I talked to your pitching coach. We had him on about a month and a half ago. And I said, what are you looking for in a pitcher? And he said, guys can throw strikes, good mechanics is important, accuracy. And he goes, but first things first, more than anything, I want a competitor. I want somebody who wants to go out there and win and gets TO'd when they don't pitch particularly well. And you fit that bill, don't you?
Yeah, one thing I've noticed in this league is the team and the players with the most energy tend to be the most successful every single day because of how many games we play. You show up to the park flat and you're probably going to get beat. So when I take the mound, it's a little easier just to try to have an edge because you only throw around once a week. So it's just pretty important to compete every single pitch. Yeah.
What is your pitch? Your out pitch? This one I know I can get the guy out with.
Whichever one's a strike, I don't know. Probably slider or changeup, something in there, something breaking usually.
Well, you can't have a changeup without really a fastball in that respect, right?
That's fair.
That's fair. Left-handed guy who can throw strikes. You got a future in this game, don't you?
I hope so. Working on some mechanical stuff. Like earlier in the year, had some control woes, but getting back into the past few starts, Mike Callio's helping me out a lot, which is super helpful.
Yeah, when you're on, you're on. You're 1-1 on the year. You've had 2 games with your ERA was sub 200, sub 2.0, and that's good. And then you kind of would fluctuate a little bit. Are you feeling like you got her down now? You're locked?
Yeah, feel like it's going to be a good last month of this year. I have some good plans for the last few starts.
How far in advance do you know you're going to start? You know you started last night against Nanaimo. How far out does Mitch let you know, okay, I'm giving you the ball on this particular day, Quincy?
We usually try to plan it out like a week. So if we can, we have guys go about the same day every week. With guys coming and going, though, sometimes the days get switched up. Last week I threw on a Wednesday. This week I'll throw on a Tuesday. We don't know next week. A couple guys leaving, a couple guys coming back. So just being ready every day, grinding every day, and prepared to throw whenever they call my name.
And they are going to do that more and more as the season progresses. When you're, we'll take Nanaimo as an example. Do you do much scouting? Can you do much scouting? Or are you just, hey, these are my pitches and come get them?
So
good luck.
With this league, everyone tends to know a fair amount of people on the other teams. For Nanaimo, I know probably 10 or 12 guys that I've played with or played against in the past. And just from that, like, the guys are good at communicating with each other on guys that we know, guys that we've played against, what they've seen. And that's one thing that kind of sets our team apart is the chemistry and being able to get to each other and help communicate with certain tips and stuff that can help propel us to more wins.
How are you health-wise as we're already past the midway point of the season into the home stretch, really? Are you feeling pretty good?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty great. I didn't toss as much as I thought I was going to during school this year, so I was kind of ready to empty the tank this whole summer, so I'm feeling great.
When people think about Brewster, they think about basketball, the boys and girls basketball program that has a whole trophy case full of hardware from the WIA. This Brewster high school baseball program that you were a graduate of, you got some good stuff going on up north.
Yeah, past 10 years or so, it's been pretty great. And even before that, Brewster has a special culture. It's a generational thing. A lot of people come back to the town after they graduate, after they've gone to college, and they just pour into the younger kids, and I think that's what sets that town apart and makes them so successful, is the ability for the parents to help all the kids, especially with the baseball team, the amount of volunteers that come out and help, or the amount of extra hitting they do after practices, or the field work after games. It just kind of shows they're a little different up there.
What's it going to take for Quincy Vassar to go to the next level? I know you want to. You're not just going to dink around and then go, I got to go get a real job. You want to stay in this game as long as possible.
Yeah.
What do you know inside of your gut that you need to do to go to the next level in your baseball career?
There's a couple of velo things I could obviously change. I'm not one of the hardest throwing guys in the league, but I'm working with a couple of guys on our team, Jack Moffitt, Putnam, and Kalia, the coach. They've all been helping me with some mechanical tweaks, and I'm hoping to find a couple jumps here and there, and then just make sure everything's looking sharp. You know, just because we gain velo doesn't mean we want to start throwing balls and walking guys. So it's trying to find that happy medium in there.
Joel, your impressions of this gentleman? He's second year with the team. Last year he was kind of in and out, and then of course he led us to a huge playoff victory in the postseason, and that was with us all year long. Your thoughts on Quincy? You've seen him play more than I have.
You know, the funny thing with Quincy, I remember telling him this last year, the first time I'd seen him play was when he did high school football. I remember broadcasting his games there, and I remember he quit in the middle of the season. I was thinking, what the heck are they doing? They lost their starting quarterback here. You know, this is a big blow to the team. And then I found out later that it was because of his interest in baseball, and I found that out last year. That was the right choice. And he was a good quarterback, but a better baseball player as well. And, you know, Quincy is such a leader these last couple of years with his team. I mean, one of the funny things Mitch would talk about with him, he jokes that Quincy's our California scout. He's got a couple of guys there, locked him up, told guys to come here to join the Sox, guys he's teammates with at Vanguard. And it's fun to have guys who have such a passion for the brand, because for some people, unfortunately, they look at it as just summer ball. It is temporary. But for other guys, whether they're like Quincy and they're from the area, they see this as something a little bit more. This is an opportunity to build something, and this is where they're competing at right now, and that's the most important thing to them. And I think we often see that the guys who have that right mindset in the summer, they turn out to be fantastic people, whether it's as a human being or as a baseball player, sometimes both. Sometimes we're fortunate and that's the case. And so I think the thing that we've learned with Quincy is that whatever he's going to do after his time with the Apple Sox, he's going to have a lot of success with it.
Quincy, do you feel a little pressure, a little leadership pressure by being from here when the guys come from all over the country to play summer collegiate baseball? Do you feel like it's incumbent upon yourself because you're from here to make them feel a little bit more welcome, show them around a little bit? This place has the best burgers, that kind of stuff?
You know, it's not like a pressure. This place is very special to me. I grew up going to these games, probably 15 years at this park or somewhere near that. So when guys come in here from out of state, you know, I like to share with them like how special this place actually is and what this means to a lot of the local guys. I know Braden Boyd probably feels the same way. Past Chelan guys that we've had. This team and this league in general is a pretty special place to play in the summer. And especially this year with how great our team is, I'm just happy that the guys are enjoying it as much as I am. So,
speaking of past players who've made good, another former Apple Sox alumnus drafted today.
Yeah, really exciting. Skylar Hales, who pitched for the team in 2021.
Very well, I remember.
Yes, I'd argue he should have at least been an honorable mention all league that year. Didn't quite get it, but He was drafted 4th round by the Texas Rangers. Really exciting honor for him. Anytime one of our guys gets picked, it's so cool. And I think what a lot of us in the organization have enjoyed in recent years is it's guys who've been with the team since we've been here. Since, you know, Jose, Allie, myself all joined the team in 2018. It's cool when it's guys you remember. You remember talking to them here the first time and not knowing them, and now their name's getting called nationally. And that's I think it's one of the ultimate honors that you can get, obviously, as a former Apple Sox player, and it's so exciting for us. Looking forward to the day he can get the call to the majors. And, you know, we had another guy who recently just got called up by the Padres who, at the time we're talking, is looking to make his Major League debut, Alec Jacob, with the San Diego Padres. And it's just, I think sometimes our players who are currently on the team get surprised and go, that guy pitched here? Like, they get so stunned by that, and it's something that really helps the recruiting on its own. For the current players, for future players, our coaching staff to say, hey, look, this could be you. You could be living in this area in the summer and then maybe playing in the majors in a few years as well.
Nanaimo last night, Nanaimo tonight, Nanaimo tomorrow night. Then they hop on the bus, go about 100 miles south to Victoria as they stay on the island for 3 games against the Harbor Cats, who right now are playing really good baseball too. Joel, what's a good road trip here? Coming home, 6 games in Canada, coming back for the longest home stretch of the year. What's a successful road trip for these guys?
You know, I think
being realistic.
Sure, I was going to say with this team standard, I think they would hope for 6-0. It's going to be tough though. Like we said, we're playing 2 legitimate teams. I think the hope is to go 4-2. And we've had road trips before. I remember we had one last year. It was Kelowna and Nanaimo. Started out a little flat. We went 1-2 in Kelowna, and I remember us all talking and saying we've got to have a winning record on this road trip. Ended up coming home after a sweep of Nanaimo, 4-2 on the trip. So, however we can get to, I think, that 4-win mark on this trip, that's going to be really pivotal. If we could steal a sweep on the road, if that's the case, that'd be great. We've already got 4 this season. Wouldn't mind adding a 5th to the collection, but it's so hard to win on the road, and I think that's what's been so fun is this team goes on the road, and it's almost as if they're lacing them up right here, and they're getting their own walk-up songs, and it's like they're at home when they play away from here.
6, I don't care how young you are, 6 games on the road in 6 days is not easy, but then it all comes back around. They'll be home for 15 straight days, 12 games in 15 days, all at home, and that's time to make this the run, isn't it? Right.
Absolutely.
There.
That'll be time, you know, you're sleeping in your own bed, you're getting in your own routine. And don't get me wrong, the guys love the road trips. You love to get out of town for a little bit, get a little break, see some new places, and the teams really come together on the road too. And I mean, I'm sure Quincy can attest to that too. These just, you know, you're rooming with guys, you're spending more time with each other than you realize. Those getaway days, you're killing time together, you know, trying to find something fun to do, and it's fun to see the team come together on the road. But boy, that home game stretch coming up at the end of July, that's going to be great for really bringing this group together too.
Quincy, I'll let you take it home. Who do you emulate when you watch a Major League Baseball game? I'm assuming you're checking out left-handed pitchers who have control. Who would you like to emulate in your pitching career? Who do you admire by the way they go about their business on the mound?
The most admirable to me, Clayton Kershaw. He, the most long-standing, fair-weathered guy, it seems like. Never seems like he's injured. He's always throwing well, and he's a good teammate. It's pretty much everything I'd like to be.
He kind of looks like him a little bit, too, at least with the beard.
A little more facial hair than Kershaw might have.
Joel and Quincy, go get him, my friend. And don't forget, when they return home, we'll be having Apple Sox baseball right here.
Got to get a win here on the NCAA Live.
You know it. You better believe it. We're a jinx, but that's another story altogether, and we will be right back.
Experience memories that will last forever on a Sunchaser pontoon boat from Bob File Boats and Motors. If you're looking to get out fishing with your buddies or just enjoying time on the water with friends, a Sunchaser pontoon boat is a great choice. Owning a Sunchaser is more than just an incredible feeling of freedom and exhilaration. It's about taking that indulgence to the next level. See the full line of Sunchaser pontoon boats at Bob File Boats and Motors on Sunset Highway in East Wenatchee or online at bobfile.com.
Motion e-bikes is rolling out its new line of Avented e-bikes. Come in today and save $300 on the top-selling Aventon Adventure. Motion is Central Washington's home for affordable e-bikes, located in the Mills Brothers building in downtown Wenatchee.
It has really been a great partnership between Succession and NCW Life. It's not always easy to sit in front of a camera or a microphone, but you guys have made it a really nice process.
All right, 2 items of business to take care of before we send you on your way. First of all, it's Winning Wednesday. Hope you enjoyed my conversation with Aubrey. Had a great time with her. And of course, as all part of Winning Wednesday, when we visit our friends at the Pybus Public Market, it's a $50 gift card. $50 worth of coffee or whatever the heck you want to spend it on from our friends at Little Reds. Get your email into me, folks. Don't hesitate, because if you don't enter, you can't win. Give me an email. Winner@ncwlife.com. Winner@ncwlife.com. That is how you enter. 1 entry per email address. Employees of Soleon Broadcasting, Local Telecommunications, and their immediate families are not eligible. Sorry, Jordan. And if you do not enter, you cannot win. I'll do the drawing a little bit later on. A $50 gift card to Little Red's Espresso at the Pybus Public Market. 68 degrees, a few high clouds. There's a weak cold system coming through. It's not going to really cool us down much. 88 is about normal for this time of the year, but it's going to make things a little windy tonight in the Wenatchee Valley. Not so much during the day today. A little breezy at times today, but around sunset, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, it's going to be a little windy as the cold front passes through. And we'll get down to about 61 for the overnight low. And then here we go. We'll have a gradual warming trend, another degree warmer on Thursday, and then we bump into the 90s on Friday, and then a big jump up on Saturday and Sunday, as will be really amplified with temperatures near triple digits on Saturday and Sunday. And then another cold front is going to make things is going to cool things off, but actually make it almost perfect on Monday and Tuesday. Lots of sunshine, but highs in the 80s for the early part of next week. And that's it for us. Have yourself a great Wednesday. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.